Hi guys, Miss Naturally Mary here once again, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about something that is kind of interesting, but I felt that it would bless someone, so yeah, let's get into it. So despite what some of you guys might think, I know some of you are thinking, yeah, she looks super young, maybe she's like 22, 23, okay, am I embellishing a little too much? Maybe 25? Some of you guys might think I'm 25. Put it down in the comment section how old you think I am. I always love hearing in my 20s. So stay in the 20s, guys. I'll love you more. Okay, but for real. All right, guys. So I'm actually 31. Yeah, so I get all the time that people think I'm like 25, 26-ish. And it just makes me smile like really, really big. Like cheesing smile. Somebody said that I have a smile sometimes. It's like one of those emojis. I'll have to find the emoji and put it here. Kind of look similar. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm 31 and I'm a virgin. It's quite shocking when people hear that I'm 31 and I'm a virgin. Yeah, I guess it's quite rare these days. I don't even know why I said I guess it's quite rare. It is rare with our current society and the direction that we're going in. Sex is something that is celebrated quite a bit, and just deciding to give up that part of yourself is, you know, not something that's uncommon. But I actually made a decision early on in life. I don't know what age I was, but I know that it was at an early age that I made the decision that I was going to save myself for marriage. And I would by no means say that it has been an easy journey. I've actually had incidents where it got kind of close, and yeah. So I know what you guys are dealing with. Temptation is real. This video is kind of to shed light on and just to encourage you all that although temptation is something that can be quite difficult to overcome, that it is very possible. At an early age, I remember saying to my twin sister, for those who don't know, I have a twin sister, and if you don't know that, you probably haven't been following me that long, so go ahead and subscribe and look at my previous videos. I have some with my twin where I'm doing her hair and we're kind of talking about different things. Yeah, so yeah, my twin sister and I made a decision that we were going to save ourselves a marriage prior to this moment happening, the death in the family, but it was for certain something that we desired after the death happened. So our older sister actually passed away. She was pregnant out of wedlock, and some interesting things were happening, and there were some complications in her pregnancy. I won't get into all the details, but she ended up passing away. The pregnancy wasn't something that went full term. I believe it was only like maybe 2 months that she was pregnant, and she had a seizure, and she passed away. And after that moment, for my twin sister and I, like we for certain wanted to make sure that we were, although we had already made the decision that we were going to honor God with our bodies, in that moment it just really shed light on the dangers of deciding to have sex prior to marriage and just different things that could happen as a result. And so we just really wanted to make sure that that wasn't our path that we went down, seeing that, you know, she went down that path, and it was kind of a learning moment for us, you know, interesting season of our lives. But it's important that when things happen in the lives of others that we learn from them. So if I see someone that's maybe touching a hot stove, I'm not going to, after seeing them touch the hot stove and see that they burnt their skin, now decide to go and touch that stove. So after seeing my sister go down the path that she went down, it was something that became quite alarming for me. And just more so of an indicator that this is something that I should also be careful about, and not deciding to have sex prior to marriage, because there are just all sorts of things that can happen. It's always been a major desire of mine to ultimately please God, and I desire to please God in every aspect of my life. I don't desire to just give God access to the church Mary, or the girl who, you know, maybe sings in the choir or just does, you know, certain things that are related to Jesus per se. But I've given God access to every aspect of my life. And I feel that when you do that, God is really able to maximize on the potential that he has inside of you. And I believe in yielding this area of my life to him, that God is going to honor that. And it's going to be such a blessing when, I have that moment with my husband. I believe that just in general, when you yield to God and act according to his will, I believe that God just smiles. And my ultimate goal is not necessarily to receive things from God, serving God and doing his will and being conscious of the things that he's destined for us and things that he's commanded us to do. Those things do yield blessing. There are absolutely benefits to serving God, but I've always had a desire at an early age to please God, and I want to make him smile. And so in that, I decided that this area of my life, like, God is going to have access to this too, and with this area, I've decided that not only am I, virgin, and you guys have probably seen my boyfriend tag video. I recently found the one, and when I say the one, like, not just, a boyfriend or a guy for a temporary moment, but I found the person that I believe I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And we decided before we even got together that this was going to be a moment where, we kind of yield ourselves to God and we take sex off the table before marriage. And we've even taken kissing off the table. And if you haven't watched the video, the part 2 of my boyfriend tag, then watch that video so you'll get more insight on why we decided to also take kissing off. But I'll shed light on it just a little bit. For me, when you're not having sex, there are other things that you kind of explore, that you might explore. And for me, kissing was something that is kind of a trigger, not necessarily a trigger where I want to have sex, but, most things start in your mind. And so you can sin just by thinking about certain things. And with that regard, I don't want to get to a place where I'm kissing someone or, it's maybe going too far and then it leads to something else. And, my mind starts to wander. And although I'm not actually having sex, my mind starts to drift and I get in a mode where I'm thinking about sex. I don't even want that to be on the table. What I prayed for prior to my person getting here is that God would take that desire from me. And not that he would take it away from me permanently, because, okay, when I get married, I don't want that to be taken away permanently. I want to be able to enjoy my husband and, we enjoy each other and, it'd be great. But as of right now, I don't want that desire to be something that overwhelms me in such a manner that I decide to go down a path that I don't desire to go down right now. And that is not a path that God wants me to go down right now. And so, yeah, we took that off the table. And I actually asked my boyfriend prior to even getting together, prior to even deciding that we were going to date or we were going to take this far. Of course, I presented him with, the whole notion of me being a virgin and kind of getting his feedback and everything. And he handled it pretty well. And, that was something that was kind of it was admirable for me, the way that he handled it. And although he was someone that was sexually active, I did used to pray, or not necessarily pray for this, but I did have a desire that my husband also be a virgin. But that later changed, with my age and everything. I kind of just had to be realistic that the person that I was meant to be with probably would not also be a virgin. It would have been nice if he was a virgin, but, I believe that although he's not a virgin, it's going to be something that it's not going to be difficult for us because we are prayerful about, that area of our lives, and we're literally giving that to God, that he would allow us to abstain in that area of our relationship and be able to wait until marriage. And we're also talking about our triggers. We have moments where we actually are very intentional about asking each other hard questions. So babe, what are your triggers? What things kind of, entice you or make your mind maybe go there, or maybe cause you to have some type of interesting response to something that I may do, or maybe a female in the past has done. I feel like those type conversations are really, really helpful. And I didn't want to go into this relationship not having discussed those type things, or having done some precautionary things so that when we now get into the relationship, we haven't prepared for this and we are around each other and then, you know, we kind of slip up, you know. So you want to make sure you're careful about those things prior to actually getting into a relationship with the person that you're going to be with. Or if you're actually in a relationship with someone and you're desiring to take that off the table, that you now go back to square one and have hard conversations. There have to be boundaries. Boundaries are so important when it comes to following through with this type of journey. And for me, I've set boundaries in regards to, you know, where we might watch movies. We talked about where we might sleep. Like if we go on vacation somewhere, the relationship is still very new, but we are talking about those different things. If we were to go somewhere together, you know, we're not gonna sleep in the same bed. We would maybe get double beds, or maybe he would sleep at his aunt's place if we're in his area of town, or maybe he would get a hotel when he comes to Houston, those type things. Or if he doesn't get a hotel, he's not sleeping in my bedroom. He's gonna sleep on the couch. You know, we're having those hard conversations now so that we're not just caught up in the moment and, you know, stuff happens. And prayer, I believe that prayer is something that is like huge. It's been so huge for me. There are moments, or just a moment, I'll kind of let you all in on a season of my life. I remember when I was around 25, I used to say, you know, and there's scripture that says we may plan our way, but God establishes our path. At 25, I pretty much planned that I was going to be married at that time. And when 25 arrived and I wasn't married, I got very frustrated. I remember being very angry with God in that season. And so this whole concept of, you know, remaining a virgin was kind of something that I was kind of not really sure. I mean, I did want to still follow through with it, but because I was in a space of being angry with God, I would, you know, just kind of explore some things that, not necessarily things, let me not say that because, you know, your imaginations are probably like drifting, you're going crazy, but the boundaries and the strict things that I was going about in the beginning, those kind of got a little loose. You know, those were not things that I was holding on as tightly to in that season, because I was in a season of just frustration and just feeling like, you know, God, you didn't answer my prayer. But that season passed and I realized that this has been a journey for me, and it's not just been for me. I say this often, that the things that happen in my life are not for me, but for others. And I believe that this area of my life is one that God wants to shine in and show others that it's very much so possible. Someone who's yielding their will to the Lord's. And, you know, sometimes you don't really believe things until you see tangible evidence of that particular thing that maybe you feel is just impossible, or maybe you feel is something that really has never happened. So I've always wanted to make sure that whatever God has placed inside of me, whatever God has destined for me to do, that I try my best to make sure that I'm actually going down that path and I'm being consistent and I'm doing the very best that I can in those areas. And so I feel like this is a journey that God has placed me on, and He's wanted me to stay true to that. And so it was, although, you know, some interesting seasons happened around 25, was like, girl, you know, are you gonna really be able to, you know, abstain from having sex? You know? And I feel like God later just revealed to me, like, I'm gonna bless you in that area of your life, and, you know, for your waiting, for your yielding to me, I'm gonna make sure that I bless you with someone great. I'm gonna make sure that others are able to be blessed by your story. And that's what I want. I don't want it to be something that, you know, I'm just a virgin and, you know, I keep it to myself. Because sometimes, you know, things like that people are embarrassed about. But for me, honestly, I'm not embarrassed at all. I feel that it's a testimony. I'm thankful. You know, there was a season where I was kind of, you know how, you know, you grow up in the church and you kind of get in a space where you become a bit self-righteous because you've been conditioned to. You know, church people have this way of, you know, just celebrating things that are right, but they celebrate them in such a manner that they get to a place where they just feel like they're above other people and they've never done anything wrong. Like they're just so holier than thou. And so because of, you know, growing up in a Baptist church, and, you know, I hope I don't offend anybody, but, you know, there are some really harsh, you know, things, their traditions and things, not even, many of them are biblical, but I feel like some people just impart their own wisdom and their own traditions and customs and things, and they try to really condemn others when that's not God's way. God wants us to do everything in love. And although I wouldn't say things to people about maybe how they were behaving or things that they were doing, mentally I was thinking, oh my God, how's she doing that? He doing that over there, as if I was exempt from temptation. And so when I got in that season of my life and I realized, I'm frustrated, God didn't answer my prayer, and I was, getting a space of kind of just being more relaxed in that area of my life, I realized, wow, like it can happen to me too. Temptation is not something that just comes to certain households or just goes to certain people. It can happen to the Pope. Like anybody can be tempted and anybody can fall. It just happens because, in those moments I was just like, oh my God, this is easy. It's not difficult. But I'm so thankful that I was able to be strong enough in those moments where it was rather difficult to just say no and, choose the way that God wanted me to choose, and to actually make sure that promise that I gave to God, I'm keeping that promise. And so, yeah, I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys just as a means of inspiring you all and just encouraging you all. It is always my desire to not only just do hair videos for you guys and, sprinkle in some other things that are things I enjoy, but it is also my heart to encourage you all on a regular basis and to inspire you guys as often as I possibly can. And so I felt compelled to share that area of my life with you guys. I have done a video on sex and I do talk about that a bit, but I just kind of wanted to shed light on that even more, and especially since I have a boyfriend now, and you all are going to be my accountability partners. For me, it's really not, I've come too far. Like literally my boyfriend said to me, there's no way I'm going to have sex with you. He's like, you've been abstaining for this long. I would feel worse than you if I took your virginity. And I'm like, boy, you're awesome. But for me, that's been my heart. I've been at this thing for 31 years. And so I'm not just going to, after fighting all these years and being strong all these years, just throw it away. What would it have been for? It would have been in vain. Like I've come too far to just give in now. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and just give you hope and let you know, it is very possible. You are valuable. You are, more than what others may say about you or may think about you, whether it be a guy or a girl. It doesn't matter what sex you are valuable, and your body is a temple. And so honor God with your body, respect and honor yourself, and, decide to say no. I know it gets difficult. I told you guys it was very difficult for me in many moments. For real, y'all, it was really difficult, but it's very much so possible. And, hold on. If you're someone that is still a virgin, that's awesome. And even if you're someone who has already, gone down that path, you maybe had sex with different people and things like that, it's not too late for you to start over. It's not too late for you to now make the decision that, you know what, I'm not just going to give myself away to just anybody. I'm working way too much. Like, as women, we are so powerful. We are really powerful, and we give our power away when we decide to just sleep with him, her, how our society is nowadays. We give our power away. So keep your power, ladies. Like, we're awesome. We're women. We're strong, and we can do this. And guys will begin to see you differently. They'll begin to look at you differently. They'll talk to you differently. You may find that in the beginning that guys won't talk to you. I remember when me and my sister Martha started college, there were so many guys that were trying to talk to us, like so many guys coming up to us and things like that. But once they found out what we stood for, they knew not to come to us with that type of stuff. They knew that they weren't going to be able to get, far with us. So they just kind of backed off. So, you might find that if you make this decision that you're not going to have a whole lot of guys, calling your phone. You might not have a whole lot of guys that are checking for you. They might not be, but understand that is a blessing. because, you know, there are so many moments where I was like, God, like, why are you not allowing any guys to come my way? Like, why is this area of my life so silent? Why is it that I can go anywhere and I don't even see guys that are my type? Guys don't say anything to me. That was the case for like a while. And God was just letting me know, I'm protecting you. Like, I'm shielding you from the things that actually happen to you. I'm shielding you from guys that will try to do you wrong, guys that will try to take advantage of you, that may try to cause you to, you know, give up on that, you know, abstaining, or, you know, maybe forfeit your purpose. You know, he's like, I'm shielding you from that. So, you know, you should be thankful that you're not having all these guys come up to you. So if you find that once you take this off the table, that guys are not really calling you, guys are really not checking for you like that, understand that that is a blessing. You know, you're not having to fight as hard if they're not present. So if you're seeing all these guys and, you know, they look hot and all this stuff, you know, it's more difficult for you to say no. But when you're not seeing them and God takes them out of your vantage point, like, it's a blessing. So understand that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be placing some videos here. I believe this is where the eye shows up. I'll play some of my discussion videos there. I'll also do my boyfriend tag so you guys can see my boyfriend and kind of learn more about our journey together. We're going to be doing videos together for you guys. I want us to tackle celibacy. I know that somebody asked for a video on that particular topic, so I'm excited to do that with him. He's not in the same city as me. For those who watch the video, you already know that. We have a long distance relationship going on. So when he comes to town, we'll do some of those videos for you guys. We'll do celibacy. And if you guys want to see any other type videos related to our journey of abstaining, then leave those down below. We're wanting to do the videos that you guys are requesting. So yeah, I look forward to hearing your comments and your feedback. I hope this video bless you. Love you guys. Bye. We met and I knew the moment that I saw him that I was in love. So it's like love at first sight. It's kind of crazy.